Alright, welcome back. As you can see, the wheels in this car are a little different than the wheels I had on the last car, or that I had on it last time, because I took those wheels off and I realized that there's no tread on those tires. So before anyone calls me out on this awful fitment, I do have spacers on the way. I sold the last spacers on the last Infiniti, forgot to take them off. But yeah, those wheels don't look that bad, and I didn't really clean them up well. So yeah, make do with that. But it's also perfect for this video because, as you can see, I have a Infiniti Q50. It's the last rental car I'll have because like I said, I'm getting a new job, and it's perfect for this little comparison between both these cars. So without any further ado, let's get into it. First things first, got the hoods up in both these cars. The biggest differentiation between both of these, of course, this is a twin turbo, the VR30, and this is the good old VQ 35, VQ 35 HR. But the funny thing about these cars is they make it around the same horsepower. So I was looking up the stats on this car, and it's just 300 horsepower, and this is like 306. So should be pretty good race. If I were to do that, they should be pretty much even. I've seen with these motors, I've had a few friends that have said these turbos go bad just after like 30,000-40,000 miles. I'm guessing people beat on these cars, and that's what happens. Two turbos, a lot more problems come with that. But yeah, that's the biggest difference. But it's funny that these cars make similar horsepower, even though, you know, nearly 10 years separates this car. This is the 07, this is the 22, so not really that much of a progress in my opinion. You can get the Infiniti Q50s in a red sport trim, which I think is like 400 horsepower, but still, base models or base level horsepower, these come with 306, these come with 300. It's not really that big of a leap, and especially the G37s, they come with 330, so you're still not getting as much as you should be getting. Alright, now getting a better look at the front ends. I've always liked the front end of the Q50s. I thought they looked nice. I do like the front end of this. It's a lot more simpler. But overall, I don't know. I think the Q50 looks nice. I think I like the G35, or I guess better, the V36. Front end a little bit better. Looks a little more timeless, in my opinion. Maybe I might be a little biased. What's cool about this car is you can only see it at night. I was gonna try to do it a little demonstration right now, but you can't really see it unless it's nighttime. But these lights turn when you turn the wheel. So if you turn the wheel any sort of degrees, the lights go in that same direction. This doesn't have that, and it's pretty cool how it was a standard feature on this car, but it's not offered on the new one. And that's overall the kind of vibe. So I'm gonna do a little walk around of this car, because these cars, I just don't feel like they compete with the current field of luxury cars, compact luxury cars. Like the rear end, I mean, if you compare it to that, it just looks a lot more basic, boring. This is a lot more timeless. It has character, that's what it is. When they switched over to Q, they lost the character. The Q50. But yeah, so I'm gonna work my way inside of both cars. Alright, so stepping inside, you have dual screens here, which it's kind of old-fashioned. I feel like this would have been a trend maybe at the end of this car's life cycle, instead of just having like one bigger screen here, especially because this screen down here doesn't really do anything. This screen up here is just specifically for the map and Android or Apple CarPlay, which I was surprised that it had that. Yeah, so some things, this car doesn't have a digital dash. All the new cars that I've been in have digital dashes now. Honda Sonatas, they all have digital dashes. It does have a front camera. Let's see if I put it on. So yeah, it has a front camera, which is pretty cool. I didn't expect it to have that, front and side cameras. rear camera. But yeah, it's pretty cool. No digital dash. As I said before, it has adaptive cruise control. That car also has adaptive cruise control, but it's two different types of adaptive cruise control. So when that car came out, it's a 2007. So what is that, 16 years ago? It was pretty revolutionary at the time. And the way that it did adaptive cruise control was it would just let off the gas. It wouldn't apply any brakes. This car, you know, it's like every other car. It drives for you, applies the brakes. There's no steering assist though, which I was like trying to find steering assist because I'm like, I can get that in Honda Civic. Why can't I get that here? So I was kind of disappointed by that. Also the sunroof. A lot of these new cars have panoramic sunroofs, and I would think getting into like a luxury car that there would be some sort of panoramic sunroof, but there isn't. So it was kind of, you know, just like kind of disappointed by that. Getting into the back seat, nothing special back here. There's actually no cup holders down here, so I'm guessing they're right here. Yeah, you don't even get a charger port at all. I thought that they would at least give us that by now. And speaking of that, in the center console right here, you just have this cigarette lighter port you can use, and you get only one USB slot, and you get that slot and that slot as well. Overall, it just looks very dated, the interior, especially like this interior would be okay if it was found in maybe like, I don't even know, like, because new base level cars like a Honda Civic or even a Nissan Altima have interiors that are just like this. So I'm just like, what are you spending more money for? Just the engine? Because that seems like that's all you're getting here. And in competitors like the BMW 3 Series, Mercedes C-Class, Audi A4, Lexus, even Genesis now, you can get more features for your money. And like you can get more features in a Hyundai now. So it just, you know, that's the overall vibe of this car. It just feels kind of old, outdated. Like this would be cool if it was 10 years ago. That's the best way to put it. Alright, stepping back into this car. I guess I never really told you the problems that are with this car, so I'll tell that right now as I'm kind of comparing the two. So this car, the seat is fixed in place. It will not move. My dad, before he gave it to me, or sold it to me, was trying to replace the seat module. It didn't work. He tried to replace it multiple times, and the same module that controls the seat also controls the rearview mirrors. So they're stuck in place. But luckily, me and my dad are the same size, so I can fit the seat fine. It works for now. But I'll have to get that looked at probably by Infiniti. But moving into this car, so the interior, things I like better about it. I like the steering wheel a lot better. It's a lot more thick, chunky. I like that you can get this car with a 6-speed. You should be able to get that car with a 6-speed. I don't know why they never made that a thing. No, things that this car doesn't have, because it comes with a lot of features. Comes with heated seats as well. Infotainment, comes with navigation. Obviously, you're not going to use a navigation system from 2007, so I just use my phone, and I have this phone mount here. Comes with adaptive cruise control. You can see right here, you press this button, or you press on screen. You can adjust the follow distance, and like I said, it uses the gas, so it just lets off the gas. It doesn't use a brake, so you can't really heavily rely on that like you can if you're coming out of new cars. It's something to, you know, adjust to, but it's better than basic cruise control, which I would have thought would have been offered in this car. It doesn't come with any form of Bluetooth. You can do Bluetooth phone calls, but you can't connect Bluetooth and have your music stream through that. There are ways to do that. I've seen videos on people doing that. But overall, the interior of this car, I mean, as it's obviously an older interior than that, but for the time, it was very competitive. I know BMWs have a similar gray kind of screen with their iDrive, and this is when Infiniti, I like to say Infiniti was on top of their game, because during this car's life, very competitive, and they sold a lot of these cars, and they were competing very well with the BMW 3 Series at the time, the Mercedes C-Class, the Audi A4s. It was a very competitive car, and in a lot of ways it was a better car. You know, they had their brand recognition with the G Series, the G37s. They had money. It has this feature, which I'll show you, that new car doesn't have, and I was shocked. Lost is the ability to adjust the whole instrument cluster when you raise and lower the steering wheel, or you move it forward and back. If I hop into the other car and try doing that, I'll show you what happens. Looks like almost the same lever, but if I do the same thing, it's just the steering wheel, which is kind of like, it's sad that it doesn't do the whole thing, which is a cool nifty feature. One thing that's cool about this car is you can put down the rear seats, because you can't do that in this car. There's no way to do it. It's all sealed off. So this is all the trunk space that you're gonna have to live with. The trunk's overall a little bit bigger than this car, and you have this CD changer in here, which is very of the period. That's some of the little comparison video. Obviously this is a newer car and it's gonna have newer things, newer features, but I mean, that car being a 2007, this car being a 2022, and me having been in a bunch of other 22 models, compared to what's out there we can get on lesser models, this just doesn't really compete, and I see why this car has been pretty much unchanged since it came out in like 2013. It's just not a stellar interior. The exterior is kind of just like bland. There's not really much character to it. But yeah, that's a little comparison video. I just wanted to do while I had both these cars available at the same time. I thought it would be a quick little cool video. But overall, this car is just not, I think, as up to date as it should be. It's been on sale for probably nearly 10 years now. And it's gone pretty much unchanged. The engines are cool, but you can get similar power, if not more power, in every one of its rivals. And it just doesn't really look special. It's a nice looking car, but there's not really much identity, especially with the car not even being called a G anymore, switching to a Q50. No one really even knows what that means. It's funny when automakers do that. They change their whole lineup from recognizable names, and they build this brand image which people know and love, and then all of a sudden they try to change all their models just so they can, I don't even know what the reasons for it. I studied marketing in college, and I kind of know what that means, and I know you need brand recognition. And when you take away, you know, a name, and you go from G to Q, and there's no really reason for it, you kind of lose that brand identity. So yeah, just thought I would say a little bit of that. And thanks for watching the video. You can like, subscribe, comment. I'll make more videos in this car, obviously. Once I get the wheels back on, there'll be more videos to come. More things to fix with this car. I don't know if I'll raise it or not. I definitely need to get some spacers. There's definitely little things that need to be fixed. But yeah, I'm really liking this car so far. And it's cool that I get the opportunity to do a comparison about both of these cars. Yeah, the Q50 is not touching the G35 in looks, I'll tell you that right now. It's not. Like, it's a nice looking car, but if this were not the previous generation, then maybe it would look nicer in comparison. But yeah, so thanks for watching. Peace out. I forgot about this car. Even though it's automatic, a lot of these new cars have paddle shifters, and when I put my hand back here initially, I was like, there's no paddle shifter. So, and you still have the slapstick Tiptronic gear shift thing that you get in all these in cars from like the 2010s. So yeah, there's nothing there. Also, while I'm driving this car, speed, performance feels the same as the G37 or G35, but the navigation system, this car is a 2022, and it's saying that this road I'm on, which has been here for the last 15 years, doesn't exist. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that, but I thought I would note that because I'm like, this car's a brand new car. How does it not have all the newest routes?